A long time ago, in a safe little spot, lived the people of Canby, who liked Christmas a lot. The people of Canby loved Christmas so dear that they voted to celebrate year after year. But just east of Canby, not far from Malino, we find that indeed not everything's fino. For high on a hilltop, that looks much like a ladder, lives a guy in a plaid shirt who couldn't be madder. Why is he mad? Just what is his beef? It seems he hates Christmas and finds no relief. He hates all the presents, the yams, and the roast. This Grunge on his hilltop hates Christmas the most. Now, most Grungers like to spend Christmas together with their mothers and fathers and birds of a feather, and the harshest word they speak is a yawning "whatever." And they wouldn't be mad about Christmas, no, never. But the Grunge on the hilltop, that looks much like a ladder, knew Christmas was coming and couldn't be madder. He had to stop Christmas, but what could he do? He thought as he watched a family named Who. There was Ma Who and Pa Who, unspeakably sweet, and their 3 dear Who children, Roger Daltrey and Pete. Why they named a girl Daltrey he couldn't quite see, but he watched as they hung all this stuff on the tree. He watched as they played, though he shuddered at fun. He watched with distaste as the stockings were hung. He watched as they nestled all safe in their beds, as visions of sugar plums danced. Sorry, wrong poem. He watched and he yawned as the stories were read. He watched as they laid out the presents so neat. Yes, the Who's down in Canby were disgustingly sweet. He had to stop Christmas for this family named Who, but how could he stop it? Just what could he do? As Ma Who and Pa Who were sleeping quite sound, the Grunge had a thought that he thought was profound. What if, as the Who's were in quiet reposes, Christmas got stolen from under their noses? What if he took the stockings all full of stuff? What if he took the toys, the tinsel, and fluff? Why, then there'd be no Christmas noise the next day, not if he went down now and took Christmas away. But what if the Who's woke when he was inside? He needed a costume behind which to hide. He had to look like someone everyone trusted. He needed a guise so he wouldn't be busted. But who could he dress like that wouldn't bring fear? Someone who's always seen this time of year, whom each adult trusts, of whom each child's a fan.
I've got it. I'll go as the UPS man.
With his shirt and his hat UPS brown, he grabbed a big bag and quickly climbed down. Down from his hillside that looks much like a ladder. Only by now the Grunge couldn't be gladder. He quietly opened the pantomime door, then carefully tiptoed across the Who's floor. He'd take care of Christmas for those Who's all right. No one should ever have that much delight. He stuffed in his bag the brightly wrapped boxes, then made his way to the stuff in the sockses. Their songs and their laughter, their big Christmas meal, why, that much happiness couldn't be real. As he emptied the stockings of all they contained, the Grunge supposed he was rather well-brained. They must be pretending, he thought with a smirk, and he smiled as he thought of how well his plan would work. What a well-thought-out plan! What a clever disguise! But then the Grunge got an unpleasant surprise, for there staring at him and looking quite sweet was the Who's middle child, the one they named Pete. Though Pete was just 9, he was rather bright. Would UPS come at this time of night? He pondered this question with all that he had, and then he decided,
I'd better ask Dad.
As Pete ran to fetch him, the other Who's woke. Soon the Grunge was surrounded and thought he might choke. What would he do now? What would he say? He didn't plan on his plan turning out quite this way. To beat a retreat, he'd have to think quick. So he told the Who children,
I was rather sick when I realized I'd brought you all the wrong boxes and all the wrong goodies for your Christmas sockses. So I ran over quickly, though it was rather late, and I'm doing my best to correct my mistake. So I'll take these things back, and I'll bring back what's yours,
he said as he made his way to the door. "One moment," said Ma. "I just must confess, none of these presents came UPS. But if you need to take them, then do what you must."
But, Mama,
said Daltrey.
then there'd be none for us.
"Perhaps, my dear children, this good fellow here is trying to spread around some Christmas cheer. Perhaps there are children who are in dire need, so he snuck in here to do a good deed by taking away all that we had." Her words left the Grunge feeling quite like a cad. "For remember, dear children, though we haven't got much, Christmas is not about presents and such. It's not about ribbons, it's not about tags, it's not about packages, boxes and bags. It's not about—"
"Wait,"
said the Grunge with a shout.
"Then, by golly, just what is Christmas about?"